What really surprised you about his abilities and what he could do?
Well, I knew he was always talented, I mean, the fact that he went to Ohio State and competed down there, you knew he had talent, but just everything just got kicked up more than a couple notches this year. His completion percentage is probably the thing that kind of went off the charts with the new offense and the new way that they were, working their pass game. I think the thing that is underrated about him is his toughness and his ability to run the football when they need him to run it. And he makes really, really good decisions of when to run, and he takes care of the football.
Were you a little bit of a skeptic when you'd been hearing Joe Brady's going to switch up things and this offense is going to be different? Because, we heard the same thing a couple of years ago with Matt Canada.
Well, yeah, there was and we'll wait and see kind of deal. But once you saw him starting to play, and the biggest difference is for years, LSU had always been kind of max protection, 2 or 3 receivers out. They always had such great wide receivers, and the idea was, okay, you guys just win. And now they're almost exclusively 5-man protection, 5 guys out, quarterback getting rid of the ball fast, and they're throwing it down the field. So it's a completely different offensive pass game philosophy, and he has just been brilliant at it.
How amazing is it that even with this offense, with the increased passing and the emphasis on that they were still able to have their physical principles and be able to run the ball with Edwards-Helaire?
Well, if you want to win in the SEC, particularly in the SEC West, you still better be able to run the football when you need to, particularly in the red zone and late in games, and you need to be able to stop the run. And so I think that games are still won and lost in the trenches, even though you're scoring 45, 48 points a game. So I think they were able to maintain their identity with that. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire is, he is a big, big part of what they did, not just running it, but 50 receptions. That's pretty impressive as well.
If they're not able to have him out there, what does that mean?
It's a big loss. The guys behind him are talented, they're highly recruited guys. They just have not had as many reps, and I think if you combine all 3 of the backups behind him, they don't even have near 50 receptions. So his role in the passing game will be greatly missed.
Being here in Georgia, obviously the conversation with the Bulldogs was their offense and should they switch some things up. Seeing what LSU has done, is this something that probably Kirby needs to look at and say that's the direction they need to go?
Well, I think they'll definitely look at it. I think that they'll do a lot of soul searching in the off season. I'm sure James Coley will do a lot of studying and thinking. And, they were a little undermanned this year at wide receiver. And so that hurt them as well. They had the big physical offensive line. They thought they'd be able to really lean heavy on the running game and throw when they wanted to. But they were a little undermanned, I think, this year.
Back to this game, Jalen Hurts, how different of a quarterback are we looking at from when he first got to Alabama as a freshman to now?
He's the same guy in a lot of ways. He's the same competitor, the same demeanor, the same toughness. He's an outstanding runner, a very physical runner. The difference is he's a better passer. He's not, still not a prototypical pocket passer, but he's a much better passer than he was in his early part of his career at Alabama.
Do you think this could be one of the final ones we see Lincoln Riley as a college coach?
I don't know. I think he's happy where he's at. He's going to get courted every year because the NFL likes, young, bright guys, and they like what he's doing offensively. So I'm sure that there'll be he'll have suitors every year. But I think he's pretty happy in Norman.
Appreciate your time.
Okay, sure.